Hello and welcome to this week's Marketing Mentor. I'm your host, Hannah Statham, the founder and director of Media Mortar. I'm so excited to bring you this week's episode because this is episode 11 and marks the start of season 2 of this series. I wasn't sure when we made this exactly how it'd go, but I've been so overwhelmed with so many comments, emails and DMs about how much you've liked it and loads more questions from our followers on LinkedIn and Facebook. So thank you so much for sending your questions through. So I guess with this season, I wanted to still cover the main marketing questions that we see, plus a few that were sent through direct. So for today's episode, I wanted to give a shout out to Nicole who sent this question through, which was how can we use Instagram to drive more conversion, or how can we use it more as a sales technique? And in this case, this is a destination tourism account that she's referring to. So look, there's loads of ways you can do it, and we've written a marketing blog with how to drive more sales out of Instagram, which has loads more tips if you want to read more. But I thought I'd cover the three main ones that I always suggest to people. So my first tip for driving more sales out of Instagram is to make your Instagram searchable. Now this seems so simple, but to drive more sales, you first have to be found. So there's a few ways you can do it, and the first one is to really populate your bio, or that little piece of information that sits at the top of Instagram. So most businesses we work with are really good at using their handle as their username, so that's their business name. So in my case, it's Media Mortar. But what they're not so good at is using the name section, which is where you can use keywords like your services, your product, what there is to see and do. So in my case, my Instagram bio reads Media Mortar, that's my handle, and then it says Content Marketing Agency, that's my name. So by using keywords, it allows your page to become searchable on Instagram. So that's my first tip. My second tip to driving more sales out of Instagram is to make your Instagram strategy all about the DM. So many years ago, and in fact earlier this year even, we were still doing a lot of tap the link in the bio to find out more, because that was the one place that you could get a URL driven out of Instagram. But what we're seeing more and more now is people want to engage in the DM or the direct message. So where possible, use your direct message as your call to action, because within the direct message you can actually send a person a link and it opens within the Instagram app and they don't have to leave it, which is a really great user experience. So that tip is to use your direct messages as your call to action. Now my third tip is, again, it seems really obvious, and it's actually to skip sales and go back to stories. And the reason I suggest this, and it might seem incongruous for a tip about driving more sales, is you need to go back to why you've started this Instagram page in the first place. So Instagram is a place for building community and building trust and authenticity, and you just don't get those things if you just focus on sales alone. So what you need to do is build more stories into your Instagram account, give people that reason to visit, give them a reason to stay, and what you'll see is that the sales start to follow. So that is going back to the purpose of why you started Instagram. So driving with stories rather than sales, because when you have that element of trust, you're going to find that you can drive those transactions a lot easier. So I hope you find this tip helpful. As I said, we have a whole blog on it with more tips, which you can find at mediamortar.com.au/blog if you'd like to find out more. Till next week's episode, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and keep making marketing magic happen. Bye.